Me, now stay a foreign and make foreign stress me out. Yeah, that means anytime foreign start getting to my head so much that I'm ready to snap. Listen, I won't even pack a bag. You can find me in Clarendon, Jamaica in the hills, soaking up some good sunshine, planting yam, banana, dasheen, cocoa, breadfruit, living off the land. Grow and kill my own animals them for meat. But me nah do this. Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. You know, so sometimes foreign is stressful, And I say that starting this video because this man is of Jamaican background. I don't know if his wife is also of Jamaican background, but I know that he is of Jamaican background. He also served time in the United States military as well, kind of like my background. But, boy, his deeds, what he did was tragic. Now, we covered this story when it first happened because it happened right here in the state of Florida where I live. Now, fast forward to today, the court case is over. The verdict has been read. He has been found guilty. But let me draw you back to the story, how it actually happened, what got us here. Back when it happened, it said that a Florida man allegedly shot his ex-wife and her grown son in front of his two young children, her grown son's two young children. These would be his grandchildren because this was his wife and he raised her son as his own son. Guess why? He killed her and her son because they were in the house arguing about the electric bill too high. Now I know in Jamaica we have JPS, and JPS, according to what Vibes Cartel call them Jamaica Pussy Hole Service, they can break the bank. But I never heard anybody killing anybody else in the house over a JPS bill. But this was in the state of Florida, where we have FPL, Florida Power and Light, and they are just as vicious. Michael D. Williams, he was 47 years old at the time. He was from Dayland, near Orlando, in the Volusia County area. He was arrested on September 18th by the Volusia Sheriff's Office after he called 911 and admitted to them over the phone. He said, hey, I just killed my wife, our ex-wife, and her son, Robert. His ex-wife was Marsha Ebanks Williams. She was 48 years old, 1 year older than he is. And then her son was 28 years old. Apparently not his child, but again, he raised this young man like it was his own. Yes, he said, I shot him and his mother, is what the phone 911 recording said. And it sounded so callous. They said, you did what? He said, yes, I shot him and his mother. I had my weapon on me, and while they were attacking me, I shot them. Yes, I can read. I'm just saying it exactly how it was said by him. The sheriff's office questioned his narrative. Why did you shoot them? What happened? Are they alive? Now, while they're talking to him on the phone, they're sending police units over to the house along with paramedics, right? They kept asking him on the phone, why did you shoot them? Why did it come to this? What happened? His narrative was that he got punched in his face, and then he got kicked by the mother and her son. In other words, he was saying that they were ganging upon him and were jumping him and beating him. He said he was violently attacked by the two, and he had to defend himself. The police chief, Brian Henderson at the time, said, this does not look like a violent attack to me. Not that it warrants being shot multiple times. So yes, it wasn't one shot that he let off. He let off multiple shots. He struck the son multiple times and he struck the mother multiple times. Mind you, this is in the presence of the small children who were there. Williams, who has a history of domestic violence and child abuse, surrendered to the police without incident around 8 p.m. that evening, and he told the police that he and his ex-wife were arguing over the electricity usage, the electric bill in the house. This is crazy. Close the refrigerator. You got it open for too long. You sending up the electric bill. Why y'all got the AC open and the doors open at the same time? Y'all trying to cool down the whole state of Florida? I swear, I just did a video on this. It was a 1-minute short where I spoke about people who do not pay the bills in the house. And they're the ones that always do all the things to run up the electric bills. But still, you don't shoot them. In this particular case, it ended in a double murder. It didn't help that he has a history of domestic violence and a history of child abuse. A mental health coach had called the police several hours ahead of the attack, seeking legal advice. Ebanks Williams is a mental health coach. The woman he killed, his ex-wife, is a mental health. Now I know you're wondering. You're like, if it's his ex-wife, why are they in the same house arguing about the electric bill? We'll get to that in a minute. Stick around. Ebanks Williams, the woman he killed, his ex-wife, she was a mental health coach. Now, you must ask yourself the irony. How does a mental health coach end up with someone who is mentally unhinged? It's kind of like looking at the profession of being a counselor and the typical saying that they say. Counselors usually need somebody to counsel them after they're done counseling people. Anyways, the same woman he killed, the ex-wife, she was a mental health coach, and she had called the police several hours before the attacks happened. She was seeking legal advice about who was to control the power in the house, as in the electricity in the house. Listen, man, if it gets to that point to where we got to argue about who controls the electricity in the house, I got to go. I'm sorry. And I don't give a damn if I got to go stay down by the homeless shelter until I could afford somewhere else to go. I'll go to one of the local stores, Walmart. I'll buy a tent and I'll pitch my tent in the woods or on the beach. But I'm not staying in no house like that. Now, he called the police. She called the police first, a couple of hours prior, asking, hey, we're over here fighting about the electricity use of the house, and apparently it's getting out of control. You know, come give us some guidance. They actually needed the police to make their relationship work. As the record shows, the police had been called there multiple times before. This is when I speak to my audience members about staying in a damn relationship too long when all respect has already left the building. You should have left a long time ago. So she called the police and he was upset. He felt that they were leaving the lights on in the house. So he went and he put a padlock on the main box outside of the house that controls all the lights. Marsha and her son cut the lock off that box so they could gain access to some electricity while they're in the house. Now, inside the home during the shooting was Adam's 2 children. This is supposed to be like his grandkids, man. There were Jeremiah and Faith, a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, just witnessed the man who they know as Grandpa murder their father, who's 28 years old, right in front of them, and killed their grandmother right in front of them. The children do not live in the home, but they live in a residence in Tallahassee, so the children were there visiting. It is said that they do believe that the children witnessed everything that happened there. Their father getting murdered, their grandmother getting murdered. The sheriff office is working with the Florida Department of Children and Families, DCF, and Child Protective Services to interview the children to find out what it is that they saw. Of course, this will be used against him in a court of law. Now, Henderson also revealed that despite having been to the residence about 5 times, this is a police officer saying, I've been to that house about 5 times already, just this year alone. However, every time I went, it was for non-physical domestic disputes between the couple, meaning they weren't hitting each other, but they were arguing and it was out of control. They had divorced recently. They had been married for 10 years, so this is the part where you understand why they became exes but still stayed in the same house. So they have been married for 10 years. They purchased the home together, which means they both have equity in the home. This is their marital home. Upon divorcing, few months ago, the divorce was finalized. After the divorce was finalized, the deal was that he would sell the house and they would split the money. As a part of their divorce proceedings, they both agreed that the wife, now ex-wife, would still live at the house until the house is sold and the money is split and she can use her share of the money and move on with her life. Inside of the house, the police found a gun that was secured in a box. After he killed the ex-wife and her son, he locked the gun in a box because, of course, the 2 young children, age 5 and 6, were there. He wasn't in a shock, like, oh my God, what have I done? Drop the gun, the kids picked the gun up. He had the sense to be calm enough to go find that box, lock the gun in the gun box, and then when the police came, he told them where the gun was and he gave them the key to open the gun box and take the gun out. He was transported to the Volusia County Branch Jail and he had remained there without bond. Now, fast forward to today. And today, the story, the update is, as of March 13th of 2024, it says that he has been found guilty. A Dayland area man who shot his ex-wife and her son over electricity has been found guilty of murder. He was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder with a firearm in the killing of his ex-wife, Marsha Ebanks, and her son, Robert Adams. Marsha was 48 and her son was 28. That means she had that son when she was 20 years old. He is an ex-Marine, served in the military. He was found guilty Friday of murdering both parties over a dispute, a confrontation, over electricity in the house. He was convicted as charged of 2 counts of second-degree murder with a firearm, and he will face up to life in prison at sentencing for gunning down Marsha and her son 2 years ago. A sentencing date has not been set as yet. Listen, a 6-member jury, 4 women, 2 men, returned a verdict on Friday in Circuit Judge Randall Rowe III Courthouse at the Volusia County Courthouse in Dayland. Even though they were divorced, Williams and his ex, they were still living in the same house, like I said before. And it was under the terms and conditions of the divorce. I don't know what damn terms and conditions of divorce, but you know, divorce gets ugly. And this is the reason why I also encourage people to be absolutely friggin' sure about what you're doing when you're going to get married. It is said that 60 to 70% of people who are marrying today will be divorced within the next 10 to 20 years. 60 to 70%. That's way over half, and that's damn near almost 100, with only a survival rate of about 30%. I think that's enough to get anybody to really vet who it is you're going to be marrying. I mean, really, really vet. Really take your time. It's okay to wait years. I see a lot of people rushing into marriage today and they're like, "Oh, if you don't marry me within the next 2 years, then I'm moving on." Man, don't do it. Sometimes it takes more than 2 years to figure a person out. Sometimes, hell, it takes more than 10 years to figure a person out. I've seen situations where people were together for 5, 6, 7 years and they got married. And within the 5, 6, 7 years of friendship and bliss and happiness, they got married, and that marriage lasted 2 years, and then they were enemies after that. Now we got to go get divorce lawyers, split up our properties, figure out who gets what. You're bitter, I'm bitter. Nah. But let me close this video by saying this, though. For one, this is a follow-up to a story that we followed from the beginning. That's why we tell the audience members, like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the subscribe bell, but click the bell next to it. Hit the subscribe button, but click the bell next to it so you're notified every time a new video goes up or every time a update of a story that we followed before is posted to SouFLoTV. This is just one of those. But let me end this video by saying this. Williams said that the day before the shooting, his wife or ex-wife and her son had turned on all the lights in the house, and they had started cleaning around 11 p.m. at night, even though they knew he was trying to sleep. So they were like provoking him. That's what he said in court. But hey, dead man tell no tales. The next day, which was a Sunday, he said that she and her son and his 2 children, they left the house and they went to church. Once they left the house and went to church, I don't know why you cleaning at 11 o'clock at night, but okay. Once they left and went to church, Michael Williams said he locked up the house, he turned off the power, and he locked the breaker box by putting a lock on it. He testified that he wanted to force his ex-wife to call him to talk about resolving issues over the house. He said that they were supposed to split the bills in half, but when he asked her for her share of the electric bill, she did not pay it and she did not want to pay it. You're the man, right? You pay all the bills, right? And he's saying, yeah, but that's when you were my wife. I would pay all the bills. We're divorced. It's only under the condition of the divorce that we still live together, and it's only until I sell the house. And we'll split the profits and go your way and I'll go my way. In the meantime, the bills still have to be paid. And she was like, well, I ain't paying it. You paying it. He said he drove to Orlando, and the alarm company sent a notification to his phone that something was wrong at the house, but couldn't get any further information. So he drove back to the house. He said that he got in the house and he was going to the garage when the ex-wife tried to block his path from going to the garage. So he used his forearm to keep her away from him. And then her son warned him and said, "Don't be touching my mother." Then Michael Williams said her son struck him with what he compared to as a football-like tackle. He said he heard his ex-wife tell him, "Get him! Get him, baby, get him!" And he said both of them started attacking him. Michael Williams said that the son then went for his gun, which he carried concealed in a holster on his waist, and he was trying to take my gun off of my waist. Michael Williams became emotional as he said he pulled his gun and he shot Adams, the 28-year-old who was supposed to be his stepson. He said he was not sure if he had hit him the first time, but he shot him again. And then he also shot the mother. He said he did not want to shoot them, and he only did so as a last resort to save his own life. Oh my God. Funny thing is, he never mentioned any of this during his initial interview with the police. How he reached for his gun, how he football tackled him, none of it. The police said he only had a small scratch above his mouth, and he also appeared to have a redness on some part of his torso, but that's about it. Nothing that would say justifies you shooting two people multiple times. Now, the children who were left at the house, the 6-year-old boy testified under questioning. The small boy practically disappeared in the witness stand with only his head visible from the gallery. The boy said that he did not remember his grandmother hitting Michael Williams in the head, but Avalone then played a video of the boy's interview with a child protection team member after the shooting had happened. And in the video, he said that his grandmother had hit Michael in the head. So see, when it was fresh in the little boy's mind, the little boy told the police everything he saw. I saw her hit him, and then they were fighting, and then he shot them. So apparently they did hit him, according to the initial story of that little boy. The child also answered yes when cross-examiners asked him whether his dad and his grandmother had started the fight. The little boy said yes, they did. He also answered yes when he was asked whether his grandmother and his dad were hitting and kicking Michael Williams. The little boy said yes, they did. His defense attorney said he had no choice but to shoot because he feared for his life, especially for that 28-year-old who was a grown man. Wow. It is said that when the sheriff deputies first encountered the children, they didn't say that Michael Williams killed their dad. They just said that there was a fight. They were 5 and 6. The children didn't know. They didn't understand. The attorney said that the ex-wife and her son, they provoked Michael to try to get him to move out instead so they could keep the house for themselves. And when that didn't work, they started doing stuff like turning on all the lights in the house at 11 o'clock at night, cleaning the house till midnight while he's trying to sleep, provoking him. During their closing statement, it was said that the young boy didn't understand that the age that he was at the time. He just didn't understand what was going on. And the testimony has changed from the original testimony that they gave. Listen, let's leave this video like this. If you're in a relationship and the relationship loses respect, the bottom line above all this is respect. If respect is gone, you need to be gone too. Period. I'll catch y'all on the next video. And like I said in the beginning, he's of Jamaican background. He's from Jamaica. I don't know of the woman if she is also, but I know this. Before me stay a foreign, and make foreign mad me till I kill people in my house over electric bill. I'll be in Clarendon, Jamaica, planting yam and banana and dashing breadfruit and cocoa, because I'm not doing it. I'm out. Peace.